Hey, it's Marko here from Fair Realty with your April 2024 Victoria, BC real estate market update. So let's get started with the numbers. Sales, we had 678 sales. This was up from last year. Keep in mind this April, just because of how Easter fell, we had an extra 2 business days. So actually the sales pace per business days was identical to last year. If we look at 2022, we had over 800 sales. 21, we had over 1,100 sales. 20 was a unique year because the world shut down because of COVID. That's why we only had 287 sales. But sales on the whole, they're not catastrophically low, but they're definitely below a 10-year average and below a 20-year average. So on the whole, sales are slow. Where the story is new listings. We had 1,620 new listings. This was the second highest in the last 34 years. The only higher year was 2010 when we had 1,783 new listings. This was the year we came out of the global recession, 2008, 2009. That year we had quite a few listings to start the year. But 2023, 22, 21, 20, once again, we had very few sales because it was a COVID, or new listings because it was a COVID year. But new listings on a 5, 10, and 20 year average are very, very high. Is it because more and more sellers are having to renew their 5-year mortgages and are being forced to sell due to the stress of the interest rates? Too early to tell. Let's see what the next few months bring in new listings. If they're near record highs again, then I'm going to have to conclude that interest rates are finally catching up to people. As a result of slow sales and near record highs in new listings, active listings have shot up to over 3,000. There was a couple of months in 2019 where we briefly saw barely 3,000 listings. However, for all intents purposes, we have to go back to 2015 to find this many active listings on the market. Back in 2015, we actually had 3,915 active listings in April. If you look at 23, 22, 21, even 20, we had far fewer active listings on the market. So what's happening to prices with slow sales, a lot of new listings coming up, and active listings going up is prices are remarkably stable. The single family home median was 1,175,000. This was actually up from March, February, and January. I wouldn't read too much into this. I think it was a bit of an anomaly. I think we'll probably see the median drop again in May. I don't think there's upward pressure on prices. I'm not really seeing that on the ground. I think single family home prices for the most part are flat. I'm going to add another couple of data points to my monthly update. The median back in 2014 in April was 551,000, so we've more than doubled in the last 10 years. And then the year-to-date median is 1,144,350. This is running a bit lower than the median for all of last year for single-family homes, which finished the year at 1,150,000. Condos, 543,500, down a bit from March. I think there is a bit of downward pressure in condos, primarily in the downtown market, as a result of the short-term rental ban, and a lot of inventory hitting the market is putting a bit of downward pressure on the condo market. But it's not huge. If you look at the last 4 months, maybe prices are down a bit. They're a bit higher than February, a bit down than March. Nothing super catastrophic. And the median, it's running a bit lower year to date than it was for all of last year. So what am I seeing out there? Well, what I'm seeing out there is a lot of sellers and the new generation of realtors that got their license maybe after 2016 haven't really seen a market like this. A lot of offers collapsing on financing, appraisals coming low, buyers not being happy with inspections. An inspection that a buyer would have been delighted to see 2 years ago, now that same buyer is collapsing offers based on that inspection. Why? Because there's maybe a few issues in the inspection, but during the 8 business day or 10-day total conditional period, maybe 2 houses come up for sale in that same neighborhood. Maybe one of those houses is a better deal than the accepted offer the buyer has. So the buyer uses those conditions to get out of that deal to chase potentially a better deal. So one example is vermiculite. Vermiculite's a type of insulation that has asbestos in it. 10, 12 years ago, I had so many deals personally collapse on vermiculite. The seller didn't want to deal with it. The buyer didn't want to take it on. It was a big issue. Then for about 8 years, vermiculite disappeared from the real estate story. Buyers were happy to buy anything. If the inspector said the house has vermiculite insulation with asbestos in it, the buyer would be like, no, that's fine, we're still buying it. We outbid 5 other buyers. Well, now, once again, I'm seeing offers collapse on inspections where the inspector finds vermiculite in the attic simply because of the balance of the market. The buyer has more options, and if they're not completely happy, they're simply walking away. I'm also seeing properties that are priced slightly above market value. They have no chance because there's just so many new listings coming to market, and sellers that are motivated, they're going to price at market value to sell their property. And then on the buying end, I'm seeing some opportunities, but I'm not seeing amazing deals out there. You know, for there to be significant downward price pressure, we would have to see over 5,000 listings, and we've just broken 3,000 listings. I think we're probably going to max out in maybe June at 3,600 listings. That's not going to be enough to put substantial downward pressure in the marketplace, but it is going to make for challenging market conditions where a lot of deals are going to be a struggle getting them across the finish line. That's it for this week. Marko, Juras, Fair Realty.